One in good in the house, back with another bang on video. Well, ladies and gentlemen, bigger news for you guys because I have a lots and loads of news in terms of the three important targets. You might have seen the thumbnails. So let's delve into the transfer news and more importantly, let's delve into what Mikel Arteta has to say more about the players. But first, Arsenal have tweeted out, "Happy birthday, NHS UK." We joined the rest of the country in applauding those risking so much to keep us safe. That is so beautiful. Happy birthday, NHS UK. But first, let us get to you some reliable sources. Two important news pertaining to Thomas Partey. First of all, Thomas Partey wants to focus on the rest of the games with Atletico Madrid, especially the Champions League to be happening in the August month. This is the player's personal wish. Arsenal knows and respects as well as Lucas Herrera's desire to focus on the World Cup with his country. The parties all expect a happy end to the deal, but in due course. But not only this, the player Thomas Partey does not want to get into clash with the leaders. He asks that the transfer to be done as quickly as possible. But more importantly, he has actually, Thomas Partey tweeted out that his many thanks to ME Africa for the recognition and a special one to everyone who voted. And we all know who voted digitally. It was a lot of Arsenal fans. But moving on, Lille's Victor Osimhen, well, talking about Pepe's replacement, whom Lille signed, has not yet accepted Napoli's offer for him. He needs convincing and he would have preferred to move to the Premier League, especially to Manchester United or Arsenal, according to certain sources. But let's move on. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is aiming to be just the second Arsenal player to score 20 or more Premier League goals in consecutive seasons. That is huge because the striker netted 22 in the 2018-2019 campaign on his way to share the Golden Boot, and he has 19 already this season, probably two less than Jamie Vardy. And guess who we are facing next? It's Leicester City. But moving on, while talking about it, Arsenal, well, Mikel Arteta admits Arsenal have no room for error if they want to make a late Champions League charge amongst their rival teams against them. He says, every game you have no margin for error. We know that we try to win every game. Let's enjoy it a little bit before we start thinking about Leicester and try to go again. The race is to try to win against Leicester, and let's see what happens. We try to improve as a team. It's probably one of the best wins because of the difficult schedule we've had and how well they have been doing all season. Winning is not an easy thing to do, and it's another step forward in our process, and I'm really happy. I said after Brighton defeat, I was very happy with the effort. I never denied the effort and the intention they were putting in. We cannot give anything to the opponent. It's about competing for 100 minutes. Hopefully, we are doing much better, and that'll give us a better chance to win more games. Well, Nuno Espirito Santo actually spoke after the game. He says, we cannot control what is said outside. We have to focus on ourselves. We never look at the table. What drives us is our performance. Today, we didn't perform so well, and that's what guides our approach. The rest is something we cannot control. We have to analyze, see the things we weren't able to do, and why that was. They were better in the second half, so it's a good starting point. It was not one of the best performances. The first half was not so good, but both teams were very balanced. The second half, we started better with urgency, and we had some chances, but as the game goes by, we knew they were dangerous on the counter-attack. Thank you so much for talking for Arsenal. I mean, completely. I mean, Arsenal's performance was more than enough to talk for them. Well, Mikel Arteta has admired, or probably he's admitted the fact that he needs to play Alex Lacazette more often. He says, we need to give him more opportunities to be able to do more of that. But I'm so happy for him because he completely deserves that. He really needed that. But when I asked him to come in 3 seconds, he was ready to jump on the pitch. It was great. And there were plenty of praise for Arsenal stars yesterday, one of which was former Chelsea and West Ham midfielder Joe Cole. He was seriously impressive. He says, it was a fantastic finish. It was so much like Ian Wright. It's just like all Ian Wright. I said it when he signed. I watched him play over in France, and his movement was top drawer. The touch and finish, it was so confident. Sol Campbell believes a big money centre-back signing could transform Arsenal into title challengers. Well, he says, look what Liverpool did. You know, Van Dijk. For me, could I see Arsenal spending that type of money? Sometimes it does take that type of money if a player is nailed on, and you've got to get him, and he can actually start to change the outlook of your team, especially from the back. It might take something like that. They don't mind buying Nicola Pepe and that kind of big money up front, but you've got to realize that sometimes you need to catch up with the rest of the guys. sometimes when the player does become available and you really think this guy can really change it, and you looked at all the scenarios, you might have to dip in the pocket and buy someone big at the back to take that on, and then you build around him. But you've got to go for it, going for it at the front, paying big money for front guys, but don't underestimate getting quality defenders to hold that back line together. Well, not only this, Ashley Cole proved his loyalties still very much live with Chelsea as he reveals he hopes Chelsea reach the Champions League over Arsenal. He says, I couldn't put my money on who is going to finish in the top four. It's probably out of the top seven. If you're saying Arsenal are there, then why can't you say Sheffield United are there? For me, I think it's too hard to pick. I just hope Chelsea make it. With a beaming smile, Cole was then asked, and Arsenal? And he sheepishly added, and Arsenal. Before Redknapp quickly quipped, you don't mean that, do you? And Cole laughed it off without reply. Well, not only this, ex-referee Mark Halsey reckons VAR is damaging the integrity and worldwide brand of the Premier League. He says, Premier League is the best in the world, but the integrity it is now being brought into question because of VAR. It has been poorly implemented by the PGMOL, and the VAR is now damaging the integrity and the brand of the Premier League around the world. Everyone is talking about VAR and asking what on earth is going on. People are sick of the way we have used the technology, and rather than talk about the great players, managers, matches and goals, we are always talking about VAR issues. It is undermining the league. I'm a big supporter of VAR. The pace of the game is much faster than 10 years ago. The officials needed help, but we haven't got the implementation right. We need a total rethink to look after football. Leeds are ready to beat Manchester United and Arsenal to the punch and snap up Odson Edward. Well, yes, Marcelo Bielsa is set to pounce on the Celtic striker if his side seal promotion to the Premier League. The 22-year-old Frenchman hit 28 goals in Scotland last season prior to the campaign being cancelled due to the coronavirus. The Whites want the boys frontman to replace misfiring striker Patrick Bamford. Edward has hit 62 goals in all competitions since joining from Paris Saint-Germain in 2018. David Ornstein has opened up about Alex Lacazette. He says, I think Lacazette is more likely to go than Aubameyang from Arsenal. I think they are willing to listen to offers for Lacazette and only would be on Aubameyang if they didn't sign him to a new contract. But let me shout out and let me actually put in front of you a new, probably a big question. Best dribble success rate in Europe's top 5 leagues this season, where they had actually taken into account 50 dribbles attempted. Well, Thomas Partey is topping that list, but just ahead of Mateo Kovacic and Thiago Alcantara. Well, calling all the Arsenal fans, go vote for Viviane Miedema because she has been nominated for the Barclays FAWSL Player of the Season award. You can go check on Twitter and you can get the link, and when you get that link, you can go and vote for her, and she can finally win that title. Well, not only this, Unai Emery, well, this season played 17 matches, won 5 games, drawn 7, lost 5, and that was unfreaking believable. But under Arteta, Arsenal have played 16 games, won 7, drawn 6, lost 3, and that is unbelievable, isn't it? Well, not only this, Arsenal in the Premier League in 2020, only Liverpool 31 have managed more points than Arsenal 25, level with Man City. Only Man City 27 and Manchester United have scored more goals than Arsenal. Only Manchester City and Man United have conceded less than Arsenal, and Arsenal have conceded only 11 since the restart. In 2020, I'm sorry, in 2020. Well, the Emirates FA Cup team of the round. Well, you can. They have nominated 3 players. It's Nicola Pepe, Willian, and Norwich City's Buendia. You can go and vote for this, guys, and that'll be great. Well, talking about Paris Saint-Germain, they're keeping tabs on Arsenal right back Hector Bellerin, who could be forced out of the Emirates Stadium this summer. Player is very much in demand among European football's biggest clubs, including Juventus and Bayern Munich. Well, not only this, Bukayo Saka has spoken about Kieran Tierney. He says, I know KT. I know where he likes to cross it. When there's space, he crosses behind. I anticipate the ball was going to come on the edge of the box. And when I got it, I know the far post, where the gaps are going to be. So, it was a good finish. Well, unfreaking believable, isn't it? But moving on, while talking about more stuff, David Ornstein has dropped the biggest hint about Matteo Guendouzi for Thomas Partey. He says, I think it looks like Guendouzi's time at Arsenal is coming to an end. Arsenal are offering him in exchange for players they'd like to come in a swap deal. It doesn't need me to say, but that story is true. If they as a club think they could bring in money for or a big swap deal, then clearly that's something they've thought through. And as things stand, I think there's a good chance he'll be leaving. Well, these were the news of the day. I hope you enjoyed whatever came your way. All the views and news and everything about Arsenal on this platform every single day, twice. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And make sure you subscribe because when you do that, you get 2 videos about Arsenal every single day. I will see you in my next video. Until then, cheers, and don't forget to subscribe.